Hello, 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 and welcome back to the StrawHatLucas channel. I am the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. StrawHatLucas. Tonight, I'm joined by a very cool guest, my right-hand man of sorts over on the Eternal Dawn channel. It is Kube of the Red Sea. Give me 1 second, Cube, to unmute you for the audience and say hi to the party people.
What up, guys? Yeah, I know, the surprise. Here I am. Yeah, you must all
It's
be
Oda
wondering.
himself.
Yeah, you guys been wondering why am I here? Well, we were supposed to be on another channel, but Cypherport is still looking for us, so we have to keep them, on their toes. So yeah, man, I'm excited.
I'm very excited, guys. I've not read the chapter. I've somehow avoided spoilers for a full day, so I think going forward, I will be doing chapter reactions live like this. It's just a little bit easier than recording and editing. Plus, I've been working on a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. Those in the know. Yeah, so let's dive right into chapter 1146 of One Piece. Cube, can you see the chapter, my man?
Yeah, don't worry. I've got it open.
Yes. Awesome. All right, let's do this. First up, this gigantic cover. I'm pretty sure this is just the volume art, but like nonetheless, I like the color schemes.
I'm very happy. I mean, it's not the first time, but not in colored. But it's cool to see another confirmation of the coloring of Loki's hair.
Yeah. So, do you think that it's gonna be like when they animate it, it'll be more purple than pink, or do you think they'll make it a little bit more pink?
Honestly, I'm gonna say this. It kind of gives me the vibe of when we first got the colored images of Reiju's hair. So I think it might be close to Reiju's hair. Which is interesting because Reiju, where she was introduced in Whole Cake, is the first is another flashback where Whole Cake is in it and Loki's birth is shown.
Ooh, yeah, so, you're right.
Yeah. So maybe
Loki has the poison cure fruit confirmed. He's gonna suck the poison. No. One Piece, chapter 1146, A Stir in the Silence. Okay, Yamato's Never-Ending Cover Story, Volume 31. We owe you our lives. Please, let us serve you. Oh, Ulti teaming up with Yamato. Vex kind of called this when we had our last chapter discussion.
I mean, dude, me and Nac been even saying it for months about the whole Beast Pirates needed something, so I think it's a tense thing. Because also you mentioned stuff a few months as well with us. It's just different times.
Yeah, it's... Do you think page one's going to go along with it? Oh, what did I not catch? Because
when the 9 scarabs, they didn't say word for word, but when the criminals at the Colosseum who had to become gladiators because of their crimes, and then when Kyros, took them under their wing and they became knights, and the scarabs, they not say word for word, but they thanked their hero, Kyros and Odin, and then followed them. So it's quite very similar to that storyline, where they're humbled and then they thank them to some regards. So that's what I think. I'm gonna be convinced of that. This is gonna prove to whatever that storyline is gonna happen. This will, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, it's what Nac's been saying. It's similar to the Odin, parallel to the Odin storyline. So most likely, Yamato will soon be on a fight. But I think that if Yamato would ever leave the island, we might have the backup that that the island would need. Because I've always said, if Yamato leaves, it's just a 9 scarabs. If the storyline goes where they humble, like at least page 1 and Ulti will really be 100% like, okay, we're new people now. We're under Yamato. If Yamato gives an order, they might follow it to the fullest. So if Yamato leaves, there will be a much bigger defense. Because the Europa are still strong. Still strong.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they were part of a Yonko crew, like, and they weren't the fodder of it. So, like, yeah, they definitely. I don't know, man. Like I said, I cannot see myself getting behind a full redemption, especially for Ulti in page 1. They were just rude to be rude. I'm gonna say it, rude people. I'm glad that they broke their elbow. But yeah, like it's. I don't know. Like I said, I just cannot see them. I wish this site I'm using wouldn't stop at the pop-ups, but no, I can't see it. I would love to see Black Maria show up though in the cover story. Her getting some kind of redemption, especially after what she did to Sanji, would be wild to see. Or swearing fealty to Yamato as well. That would also be pretty wild to see.
So this is my whole thing about this whole thing is, I'm gonna say this: if you do give it a redemption to Black Maria, you would have to give it to Ultimate Page 1, because as I said, words Black Maria was doing was messed up.
Yeah, like, of course.
It was. I'm gonna use the word S. You know, we all know what it is. Avery. You know, literally, it was that. I've said this with
internships.
Yeah, when I've been rereading the Wano thing, the two people definitely should not get a redemption to defend the people of Wano from the Beast Pirates. There are only two people. I mean,
Who's
people.
who and Black Maria?
No, Queen, Jack, and King, because they were specifically talked about how they enjoy torturing the people of Wano. They were the three ones.
Yeah,
where,
definitely.
Remember, King, they were scared of seeing King around. Like, King, for them, was the boogeyman. So I think those three, if the other Beast Pirates, like at least some of the Tobiropo, gets redemption arc, like you said, there are reasons of not wanting it. I could see it similar to the Nine Scarabs, or I always say the Gladiators of Dressrosa. They were convicted criminals who actually did horrible crimes, and then got some sort of redemption through Kilo.
Yeah, and there's been themes of not letting the past affect your future in One Piece a lot. A lot of like, I don't care what you did in the past, you're still my friend kind of stuff. So yeah, like I could definitely see that being the angle that Oda takes it in. But yeah, let's dive in to the chapter proper now, starting with page 1. Nice
one.
So let's starting with my man Usopp, an enemy encounter. Who the heck is that? It must be the intruder. That's my Nami voice. Deal with it. Intruder. That's my Colin voice. Deal with it. The human intruders, the ones who totally outclassed the castle guard. What's your deal? You're behind the kidnappings, aren't you? Okay, we're going right into the Gunko stuff. I'm here for it. Super here for it. I thought this might be like middle of the chapter material when they ended on it, dude. Nac stacking dubs. Nac, you always are stacking dubs. Shout out to the helmsman of the Eternal Dawn in the chat. Interesting. First interesting bit of the chapter right out the gate. Did you just say human? So we are gods. Oh, so the God Knights believe they are actual gods. Luffy taking down some false prophets. I'm here for that, man. I am super here for that. Gods, you sound like an L, or one of those celestial dragons. Why would a god go after the children of Elbaf? Yeah, they're my friends. Where are you taking?
It's a hype up to it's a parallel scene to Skypiea when Ganfall says he's a god, and they all say, "What? You're a god? You're a god? Gods exist?" And then and then he said, "It's just a classification of my people, or where I was from, something like that." So it's quite interesting that showing the evolution of their knowledge.
Yeah, and then him being a god who kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Ended up being an ally as well. Could be foreshadowing to one of the God Knights switching sides. I know a lot of people are wanting it to be Gunko. I'm not entirely sold on that agenda just yet. But let's keep going.
Yep.
So Colin says, "Where are you taking them? Let them go. A child like you should know when to hold their tongue. Gunko, cold, always." Oh, we're back to Frankie. Okay, let's go. Frankie and Ripley. Best team on Elbaf right now. I almost said Elbaf, like the hillbilly I am. Even for us, a clean abduction isn't feasible, given the sheer size of our quarry. So that's Gunko talking. Look at... Oh, dude, I told you Frankie was going to take out that thing, no problem, and I was right. That's a dub. It's a small dub, but nonetheless, my boy Frankie, the GOAT of the Straw Hat Pirates. Let's go. Always, always, always dig some Frankie love. Our only option was to ensure passage to the Holy Land. Was to have them walk themselves over here. The Holy Land? You mean Marie-Joie? Your celestial dragons? No way. They're the worst. She's nothing like the ones I was picturing, though. I'm sorry, I stopped for a second. I read what Brooke was going to say next, and it kind of took me aback. I'm afraid this one likely holds an even higher rank. A god's knight. How?
Lucas, am I crazy now?
How does Brooke know what it, no,
you've been hearing me for
this.
2 years. For 2 years, you hear me. Since we met, what I keep telling you, dude, keep an eye on Brooke. Dude knows stuff ever since Whole Cake. He should know. Like he's reading the One Piece manga.
Yeah, not only that, but like I've always said that Brooke, Frankie, and Nami, those are the three whose backstories like need the most elaboration within the Straw Hats. I know we got a pretty solid one for Nami, but obviously the mystery of who she really is, since she was found as an orphan within the Oikot Kingdom. Yeah, so this just kind of sent me reeling a little bit. I have some thoughts. Let's keep going though.
I won't lie. The one thought I'm going to tell you was, I think it was 2 chapters ago. He knew exactly that there were more than 2 people creating those manifestations. It was just not. It was not just 2. There were more than 2 people on the island, and now the God's Night. We'll talk. Nac's been talking about. We'll talk more about tomorrow's recording. But I am convinced that Brooke, in his first 40 years, had fights with God's Knights to some extent.
Yeah, something about it. Like, yeah, he either has had fights with them, or whenever his kingdom entered the world government, he interacted with them, and maybe that's why he took to the life of piracy. Maybe that interaction. Big Twin JJ John Sherrod on all social medias in the house. What is up, my man? We are reacting to the latest chapter of One Piece, and my head is already spinning. I mean, Gunko said they are gods, alluding to, you know, like Kube said, Gonfall in Skypiea, and him introducing himself as a god with the title. But then Brooke saying that he knows what a God's Knight is. He's like, you know, they're an even higher rank than Celestials. JJ, this chapter already, just a couple pages in, is making me spin. Let's go, though.
Also, just before you change the page, there's something else, and we've been talking about this. Go look up a bit, just over the Gonko stuff, when they talk about Celestial Dragon and then Brooke saying God's Knight. Mm-hmm. It's the stuff. I mean, I've talked about it, but we've talked about on the TED recording every time with Gonko, if she's a Celestial Dragon or not, because she does have the Saint.
Doesn't have the Saint. Yeah.
They never confirm that she's a Celestial Dragon. Still, they diverge with the God's Knight. Look at it. They never say, "Oh, she's also." He says, "I think she might be in a higher ranking," which is interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Like, what is she?
It's a. Yeah, exactly. Well, she's a God's Knight. She's a god.
Yeah, she's a God's Knight. Yeah, but
she just told us her rank.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. What does it really mean? You know, because we know what Celestial Dragon means, but now what does God's Knight mean? It's really interesting.
Yeah.
In the world.
Indeed. Don't tell me you're gonna force those kids into internships. What the heck is this arrow thing? Usopp, be brave, bro. You are on Elbaf now. I need you to start getting your shit together. Get it all in a bag. Get it together. We won't let you. Zeus, you called Nami? Look at that simp coming out of that wand, dude. He's ready to fight immediately. This is ramping up so quickly. I was not expecting this. Well, go away. It won't stop chasing me. 1 a.m. for real, Marth. What up, Dexter, in the chat? Oh, dude. Thunder Shark Tempo. Oh, that's what's up.
Dude. This is like one of the most empowered
Yeah, JJ, I can't say that word on stream. What'd you say, Cube?
So, this is how I felt with the symbolism of this thing. She realized that someone's oppressing kids, and so she created a lightning shark. How when she was a kid, she was oppressed by a shark, fisherman shark.
Oh, type. That's a
yeah,
that's a cool little thought.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
symbolism to that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that it adds a bit of symbolism to it. If it was a sawtooth shark, it'd be spot on. You know what I mean? I like this though.
Yeah.
I've been saying all of Elbaf. I want Usopp and Nami to have upgrades to their attacks and weaponry. So I like seeing a new showing from our wonderful, lovely navigator right here. This is peak.
And if you look at this is, and I'm gonna we have to give props for Nami, because do you know who else does lightning abilities that is that detailed? And now,
Yeah,
and he has a Logia. That's impressive from her. Sorry.
No, you're
Gotta
good.
hype up
I'm
Nami.
reading. No, yeah, no. I mean, she's killing it, man. Dexter in the chat's like, I thought this was a premiere. That, I'm not gonna lie, that got me a little bit. The world was meant to simply vanish one day. That's how it was supposed to go. What you mean by that? Legitimately. What do you mean by that, Gunko? That's how it was supposed to go. When? During the Void Century? Is that what she's talking about? Was it supposed to, the whole world supposed to vanish? Run, Nami. Was that, oh, dude, now I've so, Oda making me question more and more things every time I read a chapter. Oh, she sent the shark right back at her with the arrow fruit. Nami took a hit, dude. Oh, no, it wasn't. Dude, it was me, Brooke. Brooke got fried. It was you. Oh, thank you. However, some among the humans realized what lay in store, and they made sure the entire world would know. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. So,
What?
She's talking about the flood. That one day they were just going to flood the world and the entire world would just vanish one day. But does she think... no, I have so many questions now. Many questions.
Honestly,
what were you going to say?
I'm wondering if it has more of a meaning, and almost like, I don't know, because the flooding seems to be, but there's always something I always felt like, basically it's like in everything in history, for one new society or new world to be born, another one has to go,
Yeah.
Like similar to what Kaido said, he wants to, let's start this final war so this boring world would end. So I'm wondering if it's like there's a world order that's about to happen, but they can't do it. And it's because of those three people are like definitely, which is fun fact. In the middle is Robin's mother. She's the same age as Dragon, and both Vegapunk and Clover are very close friends with Dragon. So I found it very interesting that they, Gonko chose those three people specifically.
Well, I know, yeah, you have your Gunko in the Revs agenda, but
I find it interesting. I'm not so sold that she is a Rev, but if there's someone who's had talked in the past and maybe haven't been on the same side as them, there's some similarities to the thing. There's a connection. I cannot go again that she's an actual Rev right now.
Yeah,
because she has the mark.
With you saying that, it makes me think that there's a potential that Dragon will also know the true history of the world.
Yeah.
But let us continue. Usopp is firing off an attack, being a brave warrior. He hit her. Holy shnikes, he hit her. Take that. We are not afraid of the celestial dragons, you bastards. Oh my god, he blew off her top half. That was overkill, Usopp. I think she's probably going to regenerate. Look at this. It completely blew away her top half. I'm so sorry. Nonetheless, Usopp just straight unalived somebody. Dex, we can all fix her, man. We can all fix her. Huh? What? She's regenerating. I feel bad for her, but this is creepy. I must say it is rather unnerving to see the dead rise. Once it starts, it cannot be undone. No one can stop it.
So I went to look back in your favorite arc, Thriller Bark, because of the comment of the dead rise. This is the reverse of when people will
get hit by the sun.
Yeah, it's the reverse.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And the whole thing is, I'm now wondering if and it's similar to remember what Emu did in the Gorse. Emu was able to cancel out Sabo's attack, like it just evaporated, similar to that.
Yeah.
And then the Gorse and Egghead. It kind of makes you think of what if there's something about the whole shadow. I know I've been talking about the shadow stuff, but there's something more about Thriller Bark that talks about the source of their powers. Like it just doesn't affect them, you know.
Yeah, I'm wondering too if the God's Knights are given the same treatment now as the Gorosei, where they're not necessarily made ever living, like they don't live forever, but like for as long as their natural life, they are invulnerable. They can't be killed by simple means or something of that effect.
There's also something that could be interesting. Is I thought after rereading the chapter made me think of this is, what if it's because there's something different being summoned by a summoning circle? Because we don't know for Emu, but the Gorosei went through the same thing. Each of the Gorosei went through the summoning circle.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, other than Saturn. And they also had that weird, like you hit us, we just reappear. Like it's nothing. That's not Logia ability. That's like there's something else. So it could also be something connected to the summoning circle.
That's right. Well, see, it's different though from what the Gorosei were doing. Because when the Gorosei got hit, it was like their body was refilling in with like a Logia does, like with flames or something like that, or ink is what a lot of people alluded it to. So this is completely different. This is like, I don't even know, man. Is she special or invulnerable alone? That is a great question, Will. It's a very great question. No one can stop it. I knew it. The arrow must point to her target. Of course, Usopp figures it out. The goat. Dak had a good thought about it being related to being touched by the abyss. It might be something like their real bodies isn't even there anymore. Nak, you read the chapter. We don't get hurt. We use you for prescriptions. But yes, Dexter, I think something's very similar. I think to see the void, we've talked a lot on in our Eternal Dawn discussions that maybe the abyss and how they access it is because we do know there is an underworld from what Brooke has told us about the soul and how he got back, that maybe they have to visit this underworld. So I think the fact that they had to be touched by the abyss or something of that effect could definitely come into play. I also, like you said about, does Emu have the Emu know me? Because when I first got the Emu reveal, that's what I thought, and especially after we saw their powers, I was like, oh, that's definitely like a void fruit. They can nullify devil fruits and they can do this and that and this, and it was my first take on it. So I like seeing that, even if you're just like chomping at the bit, it's still good, man. Comes back to Brooke talking about it's creepy to see the dead rise too. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and there's also something that's quite interesting because I've talked with people on VC today, and it's so 4 people did an attack to Gonko, but only 1 succeeded. Usopp, Jinbei, Brooke, and Nami were unsuccessful. And I found very interesting that they each have a spectrum of the devil fruits. So Brooke is definitely a devil fruit user using ice abilities. Doesn't work. Nami uses Zeus, a homing devil fruit creation. Jinbei has no devil fruit, but we know that one important ingredient to undo a devil fruit user is water, and that's his element. So I found it very interesting that Oda wanted to showcase that Usopp was the only one.
Well, they also...
I don't think Usopp is faster or stronger than Jinbei. You know what I mean? Or Brooke. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a loophole on how to affect them. Maybe Devil Fruit don't affect them at all.
Well, they also represent the circle of life, the devil fruits of the Straw Hats. This is something I don't know if I've ever brought up to you, but it's something I've thought about for a long time, is that Brooke represents death. Well, not really. It's like the natural order almost. I don't know how exactly to say it, but Brooke represents death. Robin, Flora, Chopper, Fauna, and then Luffy is the sun, which provides life. So there's a really weird theme there with their devil fruits. Very interesting. Let us move on. So Usopp figured out Gunko's attack pattern. I love how much love Jinbei and Brooke are getting this chapter. Leave it to me, Usopp. An attack that telegraphs itself. How absurd. The countdown has started. The world is already entangled in the opening salvo of the coming Great War. It is said the Giants' allegiance will greatly shape how the conflict unfolds this time. This time, cyclical. We are getting a cyclical story.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But it's also something.
Mm.
Yeah, it's also quite interesting because I've always felt like, like everything changed 800 years ago. What if is the people that they manipulated to work on their side, fake stories, could have been the Giants, a portion of the Giants, because it's the only minority that has been shown to either be connected to the world government or work for the Marines through manipulation. You don't see minks, you don't see fishmen, but you only see Giants. So I've always said, like, it's always telling that Giants have, and we know they're naive like Tontanas. Like, what if the Giants were in the previous era the reason as well? They found a way to basically to create an inner conflict among the Giants, those who gave up on Nika and those who kept on believing on Nika.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, cyclical, definitely.
A worldwide war. Yeah, I was just thinking that when you were talking about that, is how I was going to take a screenshot with my PC, but I was like, nah, that might mess up the stream. That is like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I swear to God.
And you know what's interesting? Is because we only see people like eat and become this big. I mean, other than Usopp, but Usopp was from a certain time, right? Instantly is with Luffy. We know Loki ate a certain fruit, right? And he refers to it as the sun god.
Yeah.
But the way that he's buffing up a bit, I think it's indicating that it's definitely maybe Zoan related as well. Because his body is changing. He's getting fat, or I don't know. But I'm wondering if like there's some indication on, because he buffed up just like a bit less like Luffy, but still like Luffy, which I find interesting because Luffy's is a rubber body.
This just proves that really tinfoil theory that he has just the gum fruit, like the actual gum.
Dude,
fruit.
That would be so good. That would be so cool. Does it exist? Oda listed when he showed us in that SBS. There's in Paramesa, there's a rubber fruit called the gum fruit that apparently Luffy has. But Luffy is also listed as mythical Zoan user, having the Nika fruit, 2 different fruits. So it would exist.
Was that recently? Road to Laughter. Yeah, you're right.
They're both, and I said this. Okay, for Luffy having them, both of them, it's kind of weird. But why did he not? He never connected both fruits together, like saying, "Oh, they're just 2 fruits with different names." No, they list them in the different categories, like they're not connected. Meaning that they might actually be a real Gumu. But yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Kid got fat. Like, it's the Luffy effect. He's got an awakened fruit. He's just making people stretch. That's what it is, Bushido. Also, welcome in, brother. Hope you're doing good. A worldwide war. That's never going to happen. So this plot was to take the kids as hostages and put Elbaf under your thumb. That's beyond cowardly. I am merely carrying out the mission. It may well turn out to be a fruitless endeavor. I don't particularly understand the concept of hostages. The lives of a few children are as worthless as trash to me. Jesus. What's wrong with you, you fiend? I knew Robin was above Sanji. That's a base take. Nac, let her know I said that is a base take. Robin's stronger than Sanji. Usopp got fat like this when Luffy wasn't there, checkmate. That's just because Usopp is built different. We saw it this chapter. He exploded the top half of Gunko. Like, built different. Okay. Oh, Colin, no, dude. 5,000 brick. Gaviot. Arga. Hallow fated arrow. Oh man, she caused them to attack each other. Nami. Ooh, Usopp took a knee to the face. But also, for you, Dex, look at Gunko's thigh.
I'm still gonna repeat. We've seen that because of guarding and Shamrock that the god size do age, and Gunko seems to could be 16 years old. So, not just Lucas, everyone in the chat. Let's wait until we get her age. We will not get another Bonnie situation or Shiroshi situation.
Have another Bonnie where everyone has to apologize.
yeah. Let's wait, guys. We know the dance.
Okay, so Colin's getting jacked right now. He is getting taken away. Well, are you ready, Killingham? To tell the truth, Dex, please don't make me laugh in this serious moment. To tell the truth, Elbaf's communication network is limited. It's a shame, but at least they have one of these at important points in each village. Ah, Principal Kaiba. Oh my, those are quite sharp. Oh my goodness, Killingham's taking out the principal. They're making moves. Skip past Frankie. I didn't skip past Frankie. What? JJ, I think you came in after I talked about Frankie. I would never, ever, ever snub Frankie. That's my boy. Wait, did I skip past Frankie? No. Now you guys are making me think I did.
No, you didn't. I'm looking at what you're on the stream as well. So
yeah.
Nothing is passed.
Oh, man. The principal's taken out and passed out, but Ange is okay. Where's 3-Day when I need her to back me up that Ange is a bad guy? I can't move. That's because I use sleep paralysis on you. So this big old thing is a telediction spell. That's a fake word. Never heard of it. Summers, try talking through it. You should be able to transmit nationwide. Oh, no, you're good, JJ. No worries.
There's something, can I say something? There's something, Dexter, who's in the chat, has brought it up like a month ago. He asked me a question about Killingham's form, and it is true. He might be the most advanced Zoan or mythical Zoan user we've ever seen. Because we've seen hybrid forms, but we've never seen a hybrid form where he can regain his actual human hand. All of them have that, mixture between claw and hand. And it looks like it's just fingers. Like, it's quite interesting the way he uses his fruit.
Yeah,
like only the head transforms.
Yeah, something else Dex pointed out to me was that he has just a dragon fruit. It's not mythical. It's not fish model dragon this, like, you know what I mean? Or model this dragon. It's just a dragon fruit, which is very interesting.
I mean, it's model Kirin. It still has a model, but yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it has a model, but
dragon.
it's still a base dragon fruit. Yeah. Which is crazy. Very, very interesting.
And this is bad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need a sec killing him. This one should go down soon. He's a former vice admiral. I thought you died on Ohara. Robin, Chopper, don't move, stay hidden. In my hair. Saul. The children. I'm begging you, take care of them. Come on, it's time for your final charge. Hey, you hear that? A school, a library, you should have cut the peaceful crap. You're meant to be warriors. There was a time when your people's might shook the world. You were supposed to be our mercenaries, right, Harold? King Harold, that bastard, he really messed everything up. What could the noble king have done?
Yeah, I won't lie. That reaction is very conflicting because it could be either Harold was supposed to be a God's Knight and he screwed up the God's Knight's plan, or it was like Otohime, he did stuff. But his face, that's quite interesting. He's really pissed off at Harold. Doesn't look like he thinks of him good,
No, I didn't take it like either of those. I think he made a deal with the world government. Or they tried to come there and tell him, like, hey, no, you're going to join us. And he was like...
the reason. Yeah, right.
No,
this could have been the reason why he needed to make the people of Elbaf, like, you think about it,
more intelligent. He found out something that he shouldn't have.
He tried to find a way to stop them maybe by educating
and maybe
them. Make it.
Maybe whoever it is that took Harold out and what's the word I'm looking for here? Framed Loki knew or was willing to play ball in some degree later down the road with the world government.
Yeah. So now that we read the last part, there is something that caught my eye with this chapter. And it has a very fairy tale theme. Sleeping Beauty. The forms of Summers, the dragon, obviously that's also in the movie with Killingham, and then his ability to put people into sleep, a Sleeping Beauty. It did make me think of the different elements that's in the story. Not the Disney one, just the lore itself of Sleeping Beauty, which is interesting.
That's very, very interesting. Yeah, I need to see more of Killingham's powers. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, I just can't believe how ruthless the God's Knights are. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I have so many thoughts like going through my head. This is why I always like time before we record the chapter discussions over on Eternal Dawn, because I get to like get them all together. But like, I'm jumping from I need to see more of Killingham's fruit to how heartless Gunko is.
And I won't lie
towards these children.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you talked about how people think they would love for Gunko to be the God's Knight that will, change sides. There's one I said that's quite interesting is Killingham, because obviously interesting ability. Yes, he has those Celestial Dragon bubble on his head, but he's also from the Summers and him. He was the one who was like trying to hype up Gunko to have the freedom to like what she likes. Remember, Summers was doing like those soft warnings. Oh, you're not listening to the traditional music. Oh, you have a ritual. And every time Killingham keeps saying, oh, Summers, lay it off. It's good to have interest. Yeah. So I am quite interesting because Killingham and Gunko are quite interesting in their writing. I won't lie. They're really interesting. I can't tell about Killingham at all.
No, but at the same time, if any of them, I don't think any of the ones we've been introduced to, if any of them are going to be traitor, I don't think we've been introduced to them yet. Because there's got to be, like Bushido asked, Bushido said in chat, he thinks that there's at least 19 God Knights. I don't know if it's going to be that many. I was thinking more like 7, and because we've met now 4, not counting Garling because he is now a member of the Gorosei. But I'd love a deeper explanation, but I think it's, oh, you guys are still talking about the devil fruit. Yeah, Kaido's fruit was only a fish fruit, in my opinion, because it goes off the same mythos that Gyarados from Pokemon is inspired by. A fish riding up a waterfall to become a dragon. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. So
I like this, ability-wise, for Zoans, it seems to be the case. When they say model, it's like the abilities are, but the type is usually like the genetics. That's why Kaido, an example is being a fish, explains the moniker, and who can become a dragon that can fly, can survive on land, sea, and air. You know what I mean? So it's usually like that.
Dexter, Nac is right, by the way. All the ancient zones that we met on Onigashima were
dragons.
Yeah, Rio no Mi's model Pteranodon or whatever it is. But they were dragon fruits. Yeah, this is just interesting. The shit that Gunko was saying about the war as well, that means the world government's anticipating the flood or whatever's going to happen. And the cyclical nature of this war. Yeah, the world order.
Yeah. Because I do think the flood is definitely connected, but I feel like it's more than just simply the flood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I just refer to that. It's turning the world upside down. Whatever's going to happen to turn the world upside down. Yeah, the flood is just probably an instigating factor in that. But the fact that she alludes to the whole world just vanishing, and that the giants are going to be like, oh my gosh, what a good chapter.
Yeah. So there's something, again, we're going to bring up more in the TED one, but me and Nac been talking because it was an idea I have. It's just 5 chapters ago, or whatever chapters the God Knights appeared, right? We got like at the end, the Oda legend at the end of the chapter. He says the God Knights have made a move. And then in this chapter, it's like a lot of people that will have loosely connection to Dragon, It kind of makes you think that the next stuff we hear about the refs, they're making moves, or I even brought up is we might be getting more lore about what happened 22 years ago, because we still don't know what Nico Olivia was captured with information, because whatever information it was, it pushed them to go to, remember when they heard about Vegapunk and his research, they had to go to Egghead. What was the because it could be voice entry, but I think it's like there's something specific. So we might be getting to that storyline.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Oda is kind of pressing down the gas pedal right now. Not that he's trying to rush to the end, but that like he's definitely making moves towards the finale, and it's very evident with the chapters that we've gotten recently, and especially this one. Oda or Gunko is basically saying this is it. This is the beginning of the end. You know, what did she call it? She used a very specific term. It was a musical term. The salvo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the start. Yeah, Bushido, I've noticed that as well. We saw Clover 3 arcs in a row. Actually, it's just 2 arcs. Egghead and... Did we see him in Wano as well?
Nope.
No, yeah, so Egghead and... We've seen him 2 arcs in a row. Yeah, but yeah, he's been very relevant. Before we end the stream, I do have to say, too, on a lighter note, I loved seeing Nami and Usopp stepping up and showing that they're worthy of being on a Yonko crew. Like, it's insane to me, and which I've always thought they were. I've never thought that they were unworthy to be Straw Hat Pirates. But just to see that they've come so far as to not only be comfortable going into battle, but to making the first preemptive strike in battle as well. Just perfect. I love it. I love Nami. Love Usopp. Yeah, this was a great chapter. I think preemptively, because I never give my final rating until the Eternal Dawn discussion. But I'm gonna be honest with how I feel about this and the lore we're getting, the build up to this, the fights. There was like 3 different fights in this, 4 technically, because we saw that Frankie was the victor of his fight as well. I'm gonna give this a solid like 8.5 right now. I need to think on it a bit more. I need to reread it for sure.
I can't give a ranking. I want to read the chapter a bit more and do a bit of research.
Oh, you're right, Vex. You are right. Black Maria made Robin hallucinate, and yes, Robin saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. You are right. Yeah. I'm super worried about Saul. If they take out Saul right after we got this huge reunion, I'm gonna be so upset. Oda, you could have just left him dead at that point. Like,
however, I do have a prediction now. When I was talking about the O'Hara stuff, I think Summers might talk about it, because Summers recognized Saul as he thought he died at O'Hara. So it does seem that as a God's Knight, whatever Saul is, he was a God Knight 22 years ago, and I would think that the God's Knights get more clear information than even admirals. You know what I mean? Because they are their jurisdiction is Celestial Dragons, and Celestial Dragons founded the world government. So it's like, the world, the sky's the limit for them in terms of information. So we might be getting some Clover, O'Hara lore through Summers.
That would actually be pretty insane. I think we're definitely getting the King Harold flashback sooner than later. Especially with the fact that, this is what, like the 3rd or 4th chapter in a row that he's been brought up. This time not by Loki or Jordan, surprisingly. So I think we're probably going to get that in the next few chapters. I think we're going to cut away from the action just like we did in Egghead. I think we all knew Saul was coming back, Bushido. But I don't know if he's actually going to pass again. I don't think he'll be taken out. I don't think Oda's that cruel. That said, it is the final saga. There is going to be a massive war. I do believe that a good amount of characters will pass.
Well, if Kuma's still alive, I still have hope that Saul will, because he's not that.
I do think Kuma will pass. I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want him to, but I think he will.
With everything he went through and even like he was supposed to pass,
deserves
so
one.
Here. Yeah. I feel like Saul, especially now that he reunited with Robin, it's going to be the Pound and Usopp storyline where there's injuries or you're not supposed to be, or Pell being hit by a nuke.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say, but still, Oda made it a thing where people, people are gonna come back. So I feel like Saul definitely, like, he might be like heavily wounded or knocked out for most of the arc at one point, but I just think he's gonna survive.
Sorry, I'm reading. Yeah, I could definitely see that. It'd be pretty. Like I said, it'd be pretty off-brand for Oda to take him out now, but being super incapacitated, definitely an option, especially because he could be a major player in fighting the Gods Knights, at least right now on Elbaf. So to take him out and leave it up to the crew mainly, It's a classic Oda trope. Here's a powerhouse that they could use to their advantage. Let's take him out.
Dude.
Everybody's alive. Roger too. Roger's there in spirit, right?
But imagine, dude, the crazy thing, because now we've been talking about, especially with the summer thing, is I'm waiting for Scopper to grab his hand on Gunko, who has Colin right now, definitely. But what happens when Summers is going to see Robin? Look how he reacted when he saw Saul. Robin is the actual threat when it comes to that.
I don't know. She may hide in Saul's beard, but if Scopper does show up to take out Gunko, like, that would be pretty insane as well. Who's closest to the school who could show up and stop Summers from finding Robin and Chopper, though, is what I'm wondering. Frankie. Also, Frankie's actually not too far from the Owl Library. He's probably going to be the one to show up. Can you scroll quickly on
the ship when the Salvo scene, when we see Dorian Broggy just wrecking things? I want to see it because Scopper was sensing instantly what was happening. So I'm wondering if Scopper was still on the ship or not. Because he was with them last chapter. I'm trying to see if we can see Scopper.
He's not. I don't see him anywhere.
Yeah, so there's also a possibility that wherever Scopper, like while he's moving and attacking people, because Sanji heard through his hockey, he was able to sense Momo. Like Momo was screaming, but he just we knew it was also there was something connected to observation. He heard his voice, just like when he woke up when Luffy went Gear 5 and he said, "I can hear Luffy's voice again." So I'm wondering if Scopper will have something hearing the cries of his son.
Yeah, I definitely think. Yeah. Frankie showing up though is a strong possibility as well. Frankie and Gerd, at least for Robin.
Dude, and we also have the goat Goldberg with his homie shield, dude.
Yeah, dude, that was. Yeah, we do. But all right, Cube, you want to tell these people where they can find you at, brother?
Yes, of course. So you could find me and Lucas on the Eternal Dawn channel, and we drop usually on Sundays we drop our recording. So when the viz will also come out, so you could check out our recording, and we try to do we streams on Wednesday as well, and we always have unique and exotic concept for our One Piece streams. So check it out.
Very spicy one coming up, and of course the chapter discussion fully for 1146 now that the whole crew has read it. So make sure you are subscribed to the Eternal Dawn channel and of course the StrawHatLucas channel. Rambling Addiction will be back at the beginning of May, like I said in my community post. Go read that if you have not. And of course I will see a lot of you back here tomorrow night, where I will be starting up Saturday Night Seinen once more. It is finally time to finish 20th Century Boys. It's going to be a blast, and I have a co-host, a surprise co-host for that stream, so make sure that you jump in there. And more importantly than anything else in this entire world, like legitimately, more important than anything else, have a wonderful, wonderful night.